The power of pausing is one of the most underestimated strengths a person can develop, because in a society that rewards constant movement, stopping can feel uncomfortable or even wrong. Yet the ability to stop, reflect, and take a step back is what separates thoughtful action from blind reaction. When you pause, you create a space between stimulus and response, and in that space lies the freedom to choose wisely. It is during these quiet moments that your mind can process experiences, notice patterns, and reveal truths that are often hidden when you are rushing. Instead of letting life push you forward with its noise and urgency, stopping allows you to regain control of the direction you are heading. Think about how often mistakes happen when someone acts in a hurry, decisions made in anger, opportunities missed because of distraction, or words spoken that cannot be taken back. A pause is not a delay in progress. It is a safeguard for your future. When you stop, you also give your emotions a chance to settle. Stress, excitement, or frustration can cloud judgment, but a pause allows clarity to return. Just like a muddy pond that becomes clear when left undisturbed, the mind too clears itself when you allow stillness. In that clarity, you can see what truly matters and what is simply noise. This is why many wise people, across cultures and times, have emphasized reflection as a key to wisdom. Whether it is taking a deep breath before responding in an argument, stepping away from a decision to sleep on it, or taking a short break during a busy day, these small pauses create powerful shifts. They give you the ability to notice subtle signals that might otherwise be missed, such as your own feelings, the reactions of others, or the quiet guidance of your own intuition. Pausing also nurtures self-awareness. When you stop, you have a chance to ask yourself essential questions. Why am I doing this? Does this align with my values? Am I acting from fear, pressure, or genuine desire? These questions are often uncomfortable, but they are the doorway to growth. Without pausing, it is easy to get trapped in routines that feel urgent but are not meaningful. People often spend years chasing goals that do not belong to them simply because they never stopped to question the path. A single deliberate pause can redirect an entire life, saving time and energy that would otherwise be wasted. It can help you notice a toxic habit before it grows stronger, or recognize an opportunity before it disappears. Even nature teaches the value of pausing. Seasons change, and during winter, the earth rests so it can bloom again in spring. Musicians know that pauses in music create rhythm and beauty. Without silence, there is no melody. In the same way, your life needs pauses to maintain balance and harmony. Constant motion leads to exhaustion and burnout, but a well-timed pause renews energy and restores focus. This is why some of the most successful and creative people schedule moments of stillness, meditation, or simple reflection. They understand that stopping is not a waste of time. It is an investment in clearer thinking and wiser action. The power of pausing gives you mastery over your choices and ensures that when you do move forward, you are stepping in the right direction with strength and purpose. Celebrating self-control is a quiet but powerful act that often goes unnoticed in a world that loudly rewards external success. When you manage to stop a harmful habit, resist a negative impulse, or choose a healthier response, it may feel like a small victory, but it is actually a major turning point in your personal growth. Self-control is not about denying yourself joy or living a restricted life. It is about understanding your own mind and making choices that protect your long-term well-being. Each time you exercise self-control, you send a message to yourself that you are stronger than the temporary emotions or distractions trying to pull you away from your true goals. This silent achievement may not bring immediate applause from others, but it builds a deep and lasting confidence inside you, because you know that you are capable of leading yourself. Every act of self-control is worth celebrating because it represents freedom. Many people believe freedom is doing whatever they feel like in the moment, but real freedom comes from the ability to choose, not just react. When you pause before reaching for something that harms you or stop yourself from saying words you might regret, you are proving that your choices are not controlled by habits or fleeting emotions. That moment of control is a victory over the automatic patterns that once ruled you. It shows that you are becoming the driver of your own life rather than a passenger pushed around by impulses. Even if no one else notices, you can feel the quiet strength growing inside you, and that strength is worth honoring. Celebrating self-control also creates positive reinforcement. When you take a moment to acknowledge your progress, you encourage your mind to repeat the behavior. It could be as simple as mentally congratulating yourself for staying calm during a stressful conversation, choosing water over an unhealthy drink, or spending time learning instead of scrolling endlessly. These small celebrations build momentum, and over time, they create a chain of victories that transform your character. Instead of waiting for a big external reward like money, recognition, or a prize, you learn to find satisfaction in the discipline itself. That inner satisfaction is more reliable than any external praise because it comes from within and cannot be taken away. Another reason to celebrate self-control is that it strengthens trust in yourself. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, whether it is waking up early, saving money, or practicing patience, you prove that you can rely on your own word. This trust is the foundation of self-respect and personal power. When you know that you can depend on yourself, challenges feel less intimidating. You no longer need to fear failure because you understand that your own steady discipline will guide you through setbacks. This inner trust allows you to take bigger risks in pursuit of meaningful goals, because you know that even if circumstances change, your self-control will help you stay grounded. Most importantly, celebrating self-control shifts your focus from what you give up to what you gain. Instead of feeling deprived, you begin to feel empowered. You realize that every time you say no to something harmful, you are saying yes to something better health, better relationships, better opportunities, and a clearer mind. This perspective turns discipline into a form of self-love rather than punishment. By recognizing and celebrating these moments, you train yourself to see self-control not as a struggle, but as a daily gift you give to your future. Over time, this celebration becomes a habit of gratitude for your own strength, and that gratitude fuels even greater growth. Breaking the cycle is a transformative act that requires courage, awareness, and persistence. Many people live their lives inside patterns they did not consciously choose, repeating habits, thoughts, or behaviors simply because they have become familiar. These cycles can be as simple as daily routines that waste time or as complex as long-term habits that drain motivation and block growth. The reason they are difficult to escape is that the mind often finds comfort in repetition. Even when a pattern is harmful, it feels safer than stepping into the unknown. Breaking the cycle begins when you recognize that comfort is not the same as happiness, and that familiar does not mean healthy. It is the moment when you decide that repeating the same actions will not lead to a different result, and that your future deserves a new direction. The first step in breaking any cycle is awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to see. This means observing your daily actions, your automatic thoughts, and the triggers that keep you stuck. Maybe it is the way you respond to stress, the people you spend time with, or the excuses you give yourself for delaying a goal. Awareness requires honesty and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. It might reveal that some habits are not just random choices, but learned behaviors from childhood, culture, or past experiences. Recognizing these origins does not mean blaming others. It means understanding the forces that shaped you so you can finally take control. The moment you identify a pattern is the moment you weaken its hold on you. Breaking the cycle also demands deliberate action. Awareness alone is not enough. You must actively replace old habits with new ones. This could mean setting boundaries with people who encourage negative behavior, changing your environment to remove temptations, or creating a routine that supports healthier choices. Small, consistent actions are more powerful than sudden, dramatic changes because they build new neural pathways in the brain. Every time you choose a positive behavior over the old pattern, you strengthen a new cycle of growth. It might feel awkward or uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is a sign of progress. Just like muscles grow stronger through resistance, your willpower strengthens every time you resist slipping back into old habits. Another important part of breaking the cycle is patience. Change rarely happens overnight, and setbacks are a natural part of the process. There will be moments when the old pattern feels easier and more tempting, but each time you return to your new path, you prove to yourself that the cycle no longer controls you. Instead of seeing a setback as failure, view it as feedback. It teaches you where the pattern is strongest and where you need more support. Patience allows you to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow. And over time, these small victories add up to lasting transformation. Breaking the cycle is not only about ending something negative. It is about creating space for something better. When you free yourself from routines that hold you back, you open the door to opportunities that once seemed out of reach. New relationships, skills, and possibilities begin to appear because you are no longer weighed down by the past. This freedom gives you the ability to design a life that reflects your true values instead of old habits. Each time you refuse to repeat the same mistakes, you are building a stronger, wiser version of yourself. The courage to break the cycle is a declaration that you will no longer be defined by what was, but by the growth and purpose you choose today. Redirection to growth is the natural reward that comes when you decide to stop and reorient your life towards something meaningful. Growth does not happen by accident. It requires space, intention, and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. When you pause and redirect, you are not simply walking away from a habit or situation. You are opening the door to learning, improvement, and personal evolution. Many people think growth is only about gaining more skills or achievements, but true growth is also about unlearning. It is about clearing away distractions, outdated beliefs, and limiting routines so you can focus on what truly helps you become your best self. Redirection is like turning a ship that has been drifting. Even a small shift in direction, maintained over time, can lead you to an entirely different destination. The process of redirecting toward growth begins with recognizing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. This requires honest reflection about your current habits, relationships, and goals. Maybe you have been spending energy on things that feel urgent but are not meaningful, or maybe you have been following a path chosen by others rather than one that aligns with your values. A pause allows you to examine these patterns without judgment and ask yourself deeper questions. What skills do I need to develop? What dreams have I been ignoring? What kind of person do I want to become? These questions can feel challenging because they demand responsibility, but they are the spark that ignites growth. When you take time to redirect, you begin to see opportunities that were hidden by routine and distraction. Redirection to growth is not always dramatic. Often, it is a series of small, consistent steps that slowly reshape your life. It might mean dedicating a few minutes each day to learning a new skill, reading books that challenge your thinking, or surrounding yourself with people who inspire you. Each choice to learn instead of staying stagnant builds momentum. Over time, these choices accumulate into visible transformation. Just like a tree grows quietly underground before sprouting upward, your growth may not be immediately noticeable to others, but the roots of change are forming beneath the surface. By continuing to redirect your energy toward activities that nourish your mind and character, you ensure that your growth is steady and lasting. One of the most powerful aspects of redirection is that it creates room for creativity and new opportunities. When you let go of what drains you, you free up mental and emotional energy for exploration. You may discover talents you did not know you had, or passions you never considered. Growth thrives in curiosity. The more you redirect toward learning and self-improvement, the more your mind becomes open to new ideas. This openness attracts experiences and connections that align with your evolving goals. What once felt impossible begins to feel achievable because you are no longer carrying the weight of old limitations. Redirecting to growth also strengthens resilience. Life will always bring challenges, but a growth-focused mindset transforms obstacles into lessons. Instead of seeing difficulties as reasons to give up, you begin to see them as training for greater strength. Each time you choose to learn from a setback rather than retreat, you build confidence in your ability to adapt and improve. This resilience becomes a lifelong advantage, allowing you to navigate changes with flexibility and hope. By consistently redirecting yourself toward growth, you build a future that is not only successful but meaningful, because it is shaped by conscious effort and a deep commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. The courage to choose is one of the most empowering qualities a person can develop, because every meaningful change begins with a single decision. Life constantly presents crossroads where you must decide between comfort and growth, between the familiar and the unknown, between what is easy and what is right. Many people avoid making these choices because choice brings responsibility. When you choose, you can no longer blame circumstances, habits, or other people for your direction. It takes bravery to accept that your future depends on your own decisions. Yet this is the very act that gives you control over your life. The courage to choose is not about making perfect decisions. It is about daring to decide even when the outcome is uncertain. This willingness to act transforms hesitation into momentum and turns possibilities into reality. Choosing with courage means listening to your inner voice, even when external pressure pushes you elsewhere. Society, family, or friends may have their own expectations for what your life should look like. They may encourage you to stay in a safe but unfulfilling job, maintain relationships that no longer support growth, or follow a path that matches their values instead of yours. The brave choice is to pause, reflect, and follow the direction that aligns with your authentic self, even if it is different from what others expect. This can feel intimidating because it often requires standing alone. But standing alone in truth is stronger than standing with a crowd in compromise. Each time you make a decision based on your own values, you reinforce your independence and build a life that feels genuinely yours. The courage to choose also means accepting the risk of mistakes. Many people stay stuck because they fear making the wrong decision, but refusing to choose is itself a choice. A choice to remain in the same place. Growth always carries uncertainty. No path guarantees perfect results, but every brave decision brings lessons that lead to wisdom. Even if a choice does not turn out as planned, it teaches you something valuable about yourself and your priorities. Each experience, whether it feels like success or failure, adds depth to your understanding and strengthens your ability to navigate the next decision. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. Making courageous choices requires trust in your ability to adapt. Life rarely unfolds exactly as expected, and the path you choose may twist and change along the way. When you trust yourself, you understand that you can adjust, learn, and continue moving forward no matter what happens. This trust frees you from the paralyzing need for certainty. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, you take the next step with confidence that you can handle whatever comes. This mindset turns every decision into an opportunity for growth rather than a threat to security. Each courageous choice you make strengthens your character. It builds a track record of bravery that you can look back on whenever you face new challenges. Over time, you begin to see that your life is not defined by luck or chance, but by the decisions you dared to make. The courage to choose is the force that breaks patterns, opens doors, and allows you to create a future shaped by intention rather than accident. Every time you exercise this courage, you prove to yourself that you are the author of your story, capable of shaping your destiny with clarity and strength. Inner congratulations is the quiet celebration that takes place within you when you recognize your own progress and honor the effort behind every positive step. In a world where applause often comes from likes, followers, or external recognition, it is easy to forget the importance of acknowledging yourself. Yet the most meaningful victories are often private, the ones no one sees, measures, or rewards except you. When you take a moment to internally congratulate yourself, you reinforce the idea that your worth is not dependent on outside approval. This self-acknowledgement builds confidence, resilience, and a lasting sense of satisfaction, because it comes from a source that cannot be taken away. It is a reminder that your growth, discipline, and perseverance are valuable even when they happen quietly. Celebrating yourself internally is not arrogance. It is self-respect. Too often people downplay their achievements, waiting for others to validate their efforts before they allow themselves to feel proud. This mindset keeps happiness tied to other people's opinions, which can be unpredictable and temporary. Inner congratulations frees you from that dependence. It allows you to take ownership of your journey and to appreciate the small wins that others might overlook. Maybe you resisted a negative habit, kept a promise to yourself, or simply faced a challenging day with patience. These moments might seem ordinary, but they represent strength and growth. By pausing to recognize them, you teach yourself that progress matters more than perfection. Giving yourself inner congratulations also fuels motivation. When you acknowledge your own efforts, you create a positive cycle that encourages continued action. Your brain responds to this recognition by releasing feelings of satisfaction, which makes you more likely to repeat the behaviors that led to that success. This is why people who practice gratitude or keep journals of their daily wins often experience greater consistency in their goals. They are not waiting for a major milestone to feel proud. They are feeding their motivation through regular self-appreciation. Each small victory, once noticed and celebrated, becomes a stepping stone toward larger achievements. Another powerful effect of inner congratulations is that it strengthens self-trust. When you consistently acknowledge your progress, you reinforce the belief that your efforts matter and that you are capable of growth. This trust becomes crucial during times of difficulty. When setbacks occur, it is easy to focus only on what went wrong and forget how far you have already come. By practicing internal celebration, you build a mental record of victories that you can draw upon for strength. It reminds you that challenges are temporary and that you have already proven your ability to overcome obstacles. Inner congratulations also nurtures a healthier relationship with ambition. Ambition is valuable, but without self-recognition, it can turn into endless striving where nothing ever feels like enough. By celebrating each step along the way, you balance ambition with contentment. You learn to value the journey instead of only the destination. This mindset reduces stress and allows you to enjoy the present while still working toward future goals. It creates a deeper sense of fulfillment because you are no longer chasing happiness in some distant achievement. You are finding it in the growth happening right now. Ultimately, inner congratulations is a form of quiet empowerment. It reminds you that you are both the witness and the judge of your own progress. Others may not understand the challenges you face or the effort required to change, but you know the truth of your journey. By honoring yourself with gratitude and recognition, you give strength to the qualities that make lasting success possible: discipline, courage, and perseverance. This inner celebration becomes a steady source of encouragement, allowing you to keep moving forward with confidence, purpose, and a deep appreciation for the person you are becoming.